welcome to Epiphytic Cacti. Today we're filming outside. It is early in the morning. It rained last night. It's still kind of dribbling a little bit. It's also very foggy. It's a really beautiful morning. We're going to take a look at a common pest for Epiphyllum today called scale. It's white scale, so it basically is like a very strange little covering, like outer shell protecting a soft-bodied sucking insect, which will attach itself to the plant and basically suck the life out of it. They're parasitic monsters. I'm not their biggest fan, and they're more prevalent. I think they become more prevalent, particularly indoors, because there's no control indoors. There's no other types of bugs that are going to take care of them and eat them and keep them under control, as well as they tend to like shade. And to add to that, if they can't find shade, those little sneaky buggers will go to the underside of the branches. What I want to do is kind of show like how it very first will show up. Because when it very first shows up, it's not real scary, I guess. Here you can see here that when it very first shows up, you'll just end up with like a couple of little white dots. That's just a couple of little white dots here and there. It doesn't look like anything too ominous or scary or anything. Usually it's kind of closer to the soil line, but not always. So they just kind of start out like these little white dots like this. They seem incredibly harmless. So they kind of go from that to here you can see where it's like the little white dots started out, and then all of a sudden, if it looks like they're spreading, it's because they are multiplying. So you just start out with like a couple of little dots, and then all of a sudden you see several more little dots, and then that's kind of tragic, and you really don't want to let this go. You really want to take care of this kind of thing because they can actually end up spreading disease and all kinds of issues in your plant. You really want to take care of it basically like before it hits this kind of stage. At the point that it has hit this kind of stage, you're like the world's worst plant mom or dad or person. That was too PC. But you're definitely a bad plant caregiver. Okay, you're not. Maybe you didn't see it. I am going to pretend like I didn't see this. I've needed to take care of this for a while. Once it gets like this is just really bad. I mean, look, you can actually see it's like starting to get like weird lumps and all kinds of things like that. What's the treatment? Like, how do we deal with this kind of situation? We deal with this situation with a magical thing that you probably have in your house, although due to COVID, you might not. Anywhere between, I would say, probably 50% up to just under 90% isopropyl alcohol. To really kind of treat this, what you want to do is spray this down with the alcohol. So we're going to spray this down, spray it down, spray it down. We're going to spray this pretty darn good. And as a matter of fact, we're going to do all of it. Spray, 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 spray. I've done this before where I basically just sprayed this and hoped that this would just magically, they would all die and everything would be okay. It doesn't really work quite like that. So you can't just spray it and walk away. You got to put a little more muscle into it than that. All right, so what I have here is a toothbrush. And, we can obviously see that this toothbrush is not like what you probably want a long-handled toothbrush, but these are the kind of toothbrushes that I use. So I just have like a really fancy Sonic hair toothbrush. It's funny. It's just an electric toothbrush head because I don't know, like that's just what I have. And then we're also actually gonna dig out, I love these weird little tools. Little tools are fantastic. All right, so we're just gonna kind of dig that out because those little buggers, they like to hang out like just below the soil line. It's super annoying. And then you'll just see them crop right back up. So if you do this really well, one time, the first time, you can actually eradicate them. But you got to do it well the first time. You can't be like halfway in this stuff. All right. So I'm just going to get my little toothbrush nice and soaked up here. And then, here's what I'm going to do. I'll take it, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to just really thoroughly scrub the whole entire surface of the cutting. I'm not using a ton of pressure, but I'm not being so light either, because you really got to get them off. You can see them. I don't know if you can see this. You can, there you go. See the little pile of them right there from me like scrubbing. All right, so that's, we just want to keep on scrubbing. There we go. Scrub. It takes a little bit, but I mean, you just really, you know, you're growing Epiphyllum, so you have patience. Just be patient, scrub, get down in there right by the soil line, because that's where things are the worst. And this, I also think this is a really good example, because what you see here is two nice and fat, you know, plump, healthy cuttings, and then you see this third cutting that just looks sad and sickly. I mean, of course he does. He's covered with scale. He's got all kinds of horrible little monster bugs. Also, there, did you see that? I will show this again, but you see that the label is gone. Yes, indeed. Alcohol removes your Sharpie from your cutting. So, warning. Make sure you have other tags or labels floating about. I've got this guy here, and this does not have a longevity tag, so I have to take care of that. He's apparently, they're in a rush or being lazy that day. Don't do that. Do not do as I do. Take care of this. And even in, like, if you have the small outbreaks, like we're on the other plants, and they're just starting, you can pretty much treat it the same way. And if you catch it at that stage, you're less likely to have this kind of situation happen where the entire cutting gets completely just covered in like horrible bugs, right? What I was trying to say earlier is actually the there are some plants, like some Epiphyllum that I have, where I mean scale just loves them. And it's like no matter what, just that plant will definitely be attacked by scale. It's really kind of strange. It must just be extra tasty to those little parasites. Backside here. Scrub. Last year, I had this happen to a cutting that had a bud on it. And I was so terrified to try to deal with that scale, because I thought, oh no, like if I try to clean the scale off, like that bud is for sure going to abort. And it was actually worse than this. It looked worse than this. And what ended up happening was I just couldn't deal with it. I was like, yeah, I care more about the plant than I do about the, you know, the flower. So I basically just kind of cleaned it. But that bud actually worked out. It got there. It bloomed. So that was a little surprising because, you know, obviously you can see you kind of have to manhandle them a little bit here. It doesn't have scale anymore, and the scale didn't come back. So this works if you do it, like, diligently. There are other things that you can try to do, like you can use, look at all those little disgusting. They're on my hand. Ew. All right, so now that we kind of got the main cutting there, I'm gonna spray him down a little bit. Again, just making sure that if there's anything on there, it's definitely gonna come off. So here's my little magic trick again. We're gonna go after this guy because I saw like a little bit. He can't see them, but there was a little bit right here. But like I said, I'm gonna go after all of them. So I'm gonna spray this, and we're gonna look at what happens to the Sharpie label that is on my cutting. And this is just alcohol, guys. So if this was like an insecticide or something, you better believe. Gone. Yep. It will just take it right off. So some insecticides, same thing. They will just label gone. And if you're not paying attention, you might not notice that that happened. There we go. Scrub, 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 scrub. Can't forget this guy either. He's just like poking out. We don't even know what that is. That's just like a weird nubbin that grew. That's so a lot of times growing inside, like even though this guy was in the vicinity of grow lights, he was kind of like pulled away from them somewhat. Because he was actually in my bedroom plant closet area. So he's just got like this very strange little nubbin that's growing here. It's not enough light to produce anything super healthy. All right, so we'll go after this guy. I really hope this guy takes off this year. I'm last year. 8/8/19. Oh, a hummingbird. Oh, sweet. I love it. A hummingbird comes out to say, hey. You know what I think? I think those little hummingbirds would really like some of the Diso cactus. Because they have those long tubes and they'll just be like, oh, they probably are the pollinators for those. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they're just butterflies or like weird creatures. All right. Make sure that you don't ever use this toothbrush for anything other than this treatment. I'm just saying. Make sure you mark the toothbrush. Here we go. Oh. Not like that in my coffee. There's some kind of a tree part in my coffee. There's a maple tree above where my Epi grow, and it likes to basically litter all over everything. Just give them one last very good spray. I use my tiny tool. These tiny tools. I love these tiny tools. These came from a friend, but like I love these tiny tools. They're so funny. They're really useful though, because I mean, like maybe when have you ever seen a trowel? Maybe this is. I wonder if there's a difference between a trowel and a spade, right? If a trowel has like a pointed end and a spade has like this curved end, or if I'm just talking smack. And they're all trowels. It's just that this is a tiny trowel. Yep, dog hair. There we go. Put it all back. Oops. This guy's here. Nope. Don't really want all that dirt on there, but there we go. All right. That is pretty much how I try to deal with scale. I'm basically just going to go hang this up. It's an overcast day out here. Like I said, it's really foggy. Because it's an overcast day, I'm not real worried about this guy like getting any kind of issues because the sun is shining too much. So I'm pretty much just gonna hang him up, and I'm gonna look at him in like either daily or like every week or whatever, and just make sure that he's not having another outbreak. I'm gonna sit out here and treat these other two down here as well. So that I don't end up being the worst plant mom ever. And so, the glory of having the white pots. It's okay, the rain takes care of me getting them dirty. But anyway, that's pretty much how I treat scale. So thanks for watching, and happy cacti growing.